So if the whole thing is divisible by x, that suggests that one of the factors is x, another one might be 3x plus 25. That doesn't have to be exactly right. I'm just eyeballing it by looking at the polynomial and figuring out these terms here. But the important thing is it's a factor because it's divisible by x. And what that means is when you plug in 0 for x, you're going to get a 0 for y. So 0, 0 is a coordinate that is true for this polynomial because it's divisible by x. So if I rewrite this, plugging in 0 for x and for p of x, and I simplify things, I get this. So negative 15 is equal to 5k, or k is equal to negative 3. So if I multiply 5 by another version of 1, 2x plus 1 over 2x plus 1, this is going to give me 10x plus 5 over 2x plus 1. So that's gone now, and these have the same denominator, so I can add them together. So I have 10x plus 6 all over 2x plus 1, which is d. So I'm going to use long division and say that 4x plus 2 goes into 4x squared plus 6x, x times, because I'm looking at the degree of the first term. So if I take x and multiply it by 4x plus 2, this gives me 4x squared plus 2x, and that is what I will subtract straight down. And what I'm left with is 4x. How many times does 4x plus 2 go into this? That goes in one time. So I'm going to subtract 4x plus 2, and what's left is a negative 2 out of 4x plus 2. D is the answer. So we're going to take this polynomial 24x squared plus 25x minus 47 and divide that by ax minus 2. And notice the very lead term would be negative 8x. So if that's true, when I multiply negative 8x times ax minus 2, I'm going to get 24x squared. So negative 8 times ax squared plus 16x. And if I was to subtract that straight down, I'm looking for 24. So negative 8a is equal to 24. In other words, a is equal to negative 3. So if I use polynomial long division, this goes in at least x times. This would be x squared minus 3x. If I subtract that, the x squareds go away. This becomes x minus 5. And this goes in one time. And if I subtract that, I have a negative 2. So negative 2 over x minus 3. X plus 1 minus 2 over x minus 3. So if I use long division, x goes into 5x 5 times. So if I take 5 times x plus 3, this is 5x plus 15. And if I subtract that, the x's go away. And I'm down here at negative 17. So minus 17 over x plus 3. We're going to divide 12x squared plus ax minus 20 by 3x plus 4. And if you look at the lead terms only, 4x is going to be the first thing we do. So I take 4x times 3x plus 4 and I subtract that straight down. And this is what's left over, a minus 16, x minus 20. So 4 is going to have to come in and multiply by something that when I subtract it, it will cancel this out. So in other words, it's going to have to convert to negative 20. Because if I subtract negative 20, that'll add it and give me 0. And that'll cancel this out. So I'm multiplying by negative 5. I'll do the same thing with 3. I'll multiply by negative 5, and I get that a minus 16 is equal to negative 15. If I add 16 to both sides, I get that a is equal to 1. And this is 4x minus 5. You could also just look at 4 times what gives me negative 20. So we can factor a 2 out of this top one. Now it's x squared. We can factor a 2x out, actually. X squared plus 3x plus 2. And that simplifies to x plus 2 times x plus 1. And this bottom one is just going to be x plus 2 times x plus 1. So it's not by accident that this and this are the same. Notice for f we have 2x times that quantity. We'll call it box. and that's for f of x, and for g of x, we just have the box. If p of 3 is negative 2, so x is equal to 3, y is equal to negative 2, we don't have enough information to find a factor necessarily. But if we divide the entire polynomial by x minus 3 as if it was a factor, where 3 would give me a 0, how far apart is this from 0? It's 2, or negative 2, so the remainder would be negative 2. So I start with this 2x cubed plus 14x squared plus 24x. I'm going to factor out a 2x. And then they tell me that another factor is x plus b, and b is a positive constant. So I look at some factors of 12 that add up to 7. I'm thinking 4 and 3. So if x plus b is one factor, let's say the other one is x plus c. So x plus 4 times x plus 3 gives me this. 4 or 3 would be the right answer, either one of them. The first thing I would do with this polynomial is factor out a 3x from each term. Then I'll think about the reverse box method for this part. I know I have 2x squared and minus 18, and they told me that ax minus 3, so ax minus 3 is one of the factors. How do I get to 18 if one of my factors is minus 3? It has to be 6. So this is either going to be x or 2x. Let's just try one. If this was the case, I have negative 3x, and this a would have to be equal to 2, so I'd have 12x, and everything checks out. So the value of a here is 2. Because my three factors would be like this, and the ax minus 3 one, a has to be 2.